what's up, Ward Wrestling Live, man? I'm on location, trying this new mobile thing out, but I've got an absolute stud in our country, four-time Iowa State high school champion, Alex Thomsen, or however you want to say it.
Yep, Thomsen, yep.
He's a four-time Iowa State high school this year for the NCAA. Unfortunate circumstances, we didn't have him, but I'm sure he'll do it again next year. Scholar athlete, he's on the Oz team, and this year, his redshirt year, he competed pretty strong. He beat 3 top 15 ranked kids in the country, so he's coming along. But in high school, a fucking machine, 190-1. So he's here with us today, man. I'm so happy to talk to him and have him on. Hey, what's up, Alex, man? Thanks so much for coming on, and I apologize about the end location thing, but I got to get my kids.
Yeah, you're good. That was on me. I thought it started at 1 p.m. Central Time over here. I'm over here in Nebraska right now, still training and going to school. So I read the flyer wrong.
No big deal at all.
Yep, I read the flyer wrong. We had practice this morning. I was like, dang, I can slip a nap in. in between this and my next class. So I took a nap and I woke up and I realized I was an hour late to the meeting. So yeah, this is kind of on me, but it's kind of a cool little thing we got going on here. So
yeah, whatever, something different, man. We'll get it up there. We'll get it posted. We'll have some fun. But I mean, first of all, man, your first. So am I right? Did you do 2 redshirt years? Did I read that right?
No, I took a redshirt year right when I got here. And then I wrestled my redshirt freshman year this year, or last year, I guess. And then this year is my redshirt sophomore year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you had 2 pretty good years. You're coming along right there in the Big Ten. What kind of summer was it with what's going on? I know. I've heard Iowa has kind of closed their doors at home, but. What's it been like in Nebraska this summer? Have you had a chance to train or practice, or have you been home in Iowa all summer?
So I actually only live an hour from my house over in Iowa. So really, I can go home kind of whenever I want. But I have an apartment complex here, so I basically stayed and just trained all summer. We weren't able to get into the wrestling room. They really shut us down when that COVID hit. I guess when the outbreak kind of started, they really shut us down. And I was training out of a little club that there was out here. We were able to get in and get on the mats, and we got tested weekly and stuff. So we kept it just kind of open, but we stayed smart about it, and we couldn't have any contact with coaches or anything. Really just kind of wrestling on our own. But now we're
that's
in the
cool.
room. Yep. But now we're back in the room right now. We do 2 groups. We kind of split up the team. We have a pretty big team, so we have to split it up for the guidelines or whatever to happen. So yeah, we're training now. We're able to get on the mat. We lift. So we wrestle like 3 to 4 times a week, and then we lift 3 days a week, 2 days a week. So yeah, we're doing basically a full training phase right now, which is really nice. We're just kind of getting prepared to see, what really happens in this next upcoming month. So we'll see what happens.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I heard that there's schools in the Big Ten where when you show up for practice, you get put into like a little area. They test you. You wait a few minutes or whatever, and then obviously the Big Ten, there's some money in those schools. They got the ability to test and do things pretty expedited. That's great for you guys because you get to wrestle. I mean, that's got to be awesome. You were a hell of a wrestler in Iowa, 190-1, your high school career. You wrestled under Joe Stevens in Iowa, which from what I read, he's a pretty legendary high school coach in Iowa, and he was an alum of the college you're at now, if I read that right, correct?
Yeah, yep. He wrestled here back in the 80s, I'd say 80s and 90s. And
oh wow.
Yep, and then he went over. He coached with Manning over at UNI for a little while before he went to coach at my high school. So
wow, UNI's got a great program. We have one of our studs down here in Florida, Ethan Basile. He's going to be going up there this year. So hopefully he does some good things. And a lot of the Florida kids are coming to Iowa. It's pretty good, whether it's the Hawkeyes or UNI or the Grand View. You guys have schools all over the place out there.
Yeah, really good schools in Iowa for sure.
So what do you remember more, the 190 wins or the one loss?
Definitely the one loss. Like I could run you through the whole match, you know. I actually lost like in my hometown or in my right around like my area. At the Mid-America Center, it was a big tournament, like 30 teams that go from all over Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, down to Missouri. Kansas teams come up. Might have been an Illinois team, I don't know. But there's like, I think 30 to 40 teams there. So it's just a huge, huge tournament. And me and the other four-timer, or eventual four-timer, were set to wrestle. And I think I lost by like one or two. I think it was 11-9.
Did you ever see that kid again?
Yeah, we met up at two tournaments that year. So he beat me the first time, and then it was right before Christmas break. So I had all Christmas break to train, and then I came out to basically his area in eastern Iowa. We wrestled a tournament out there at Cedar Rapids, and I wrestled him and then beat him in overtime on the second match. So we actually split matches. He was undefeated. He was undefeated going for his fourth, and I was undefeated going for mine, and we finally met up, and we split matches.
So you got that back?
Yeah, I got it back. Yeah. I wasn't letting that one go away. That was not happening. I was not about to lose twice. No way.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you go through that. Obviously, your high school career is done, but the decision to not stay home in Iowa and go to Nebraska, what made Nebraska the place for you? What made wanting to be a Cornhusker? I mean, how did that come about?
I don't know. I just loved everything about the school. And I know that's a pretty general thing to say, but the school was amazing. It had the degrees that I wanted to get into. The staff that they have here, not even talking wrestling, but just talking about the school in general. They have such a cool, amazing staff. At the stadium, like at our disposal, we have academic, athletic advisors. We have doctors, psychiatrists. Basically, I mean, we have everything here. We have tutors, like you name it. So it was so cool to see like that they value the student before the athlete. You know, they really care about your academics, you know, before the athletics. So that was one reason I really liked how it was all set up. And then the team, I was around the team a lot through high school, right around from junior year on up. I was able to go to the NWTC in the summers. And so I'd actually train out here instead of training back home, just because I had more partners. You know, that was my struggle in high school, was not having partners. Like I can only beat my brother up so much before we start fighting, you know. and we fought every day. It was a fist fight every practice. And so, you know, I can only do that so much. And I mean, they had coaches I could go with. They had, you know, guys around my weight class that were training. So it was really cool to get out there. And so having that, I was able to actually get closer to the team that I could be, you know, training with and competing alongside. And just really loved the team. The atmosphere was really cool. You know, it's all about a team thing. And back in high school, I was I was kind of like not a lone wolf, but we didn't have a full team when it came to duels. And so our coach really never took duels serious. He just took them as, you know, if we win every match, but we still lose the duel, that I'm cool with that. He was cool with losing the duel if we won every single match. And so, I mean, that looks like, you know, we won the duel anyways. And so we really weren't a duel team, I guess.
With him being an alum of Nebraska, I'm sure you had some good access there. Is it like that though in Iowa? Because you're part of Iowa you're in is closer to Nebraska, right, than it is like Iowa State or Iowa.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm over on the west side, right around Omaha, Council Bluffs area, right on the river. So I'm right on the border. I'm about 20
So do a lot of
off.
people in your area grow up where they're rooting for Nebraska and not Iowa?
I've noticed it around my town. There's a lot of Iowa State and Iowa fans still. No matter what, like that, those are the two big schools. Like my mom went to Iowa State, and so we grew up liking Iowa State. And then when you grow up in wrestling, when you start going through the wrestling in high school, or not even high school, but like growing up in Iowa, you want to be like a Hawkeye, right? Like that's the goal, just because it's like your home state. Like you want to wrestle for your home state, I guess. And that was kind of like what got put into your head as you came up through Iowa. But then I realized, like, you know, I just fell in love with the school, and the coaches were amazing. I got recruited by Snyder. So, you know, really cool guy. And, you know, love having him as a coach. And so that's where I was like, man, I have to go to Nebraska. And a lot of people are like, oh,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was just gonna kind of elaborate on just the fact that, you know, I wanted to go there, but yeah, I mean, when you grow up, even on the border, like it's still Iowa State, UNI. Like there's still fans over there, but you do start to trickle in a little bit of Husker fans, right on the border. So I had some friends that were Husker fans, but I never was a Husker fan growing up. You know, we were Iowa State, so we rooted for Iowa State. That's just what it was.
Yeah, with your mom being an alum of Iowa State, I'm sure she grew you up dressing you in those colors.
yeah, I was always wearing Iowa State sweatshirts. Yeah, that's just what we did. That's just what it was.
Yeah, I mean, what's it been like? I mean, from what I understand, Coach Manning and Snyder are both legends, but I know Manning's been there, 23 years or something? So, I mean,
over 20 years.
Went through his program, and then you said Snyder coaches a lot of Olympians. I mean, most notably JB, right? So what's it been like getting to learn and get tutored by those type of coaches? And has JB been in your room?
It's kind of funny that you asked that. I think a lot of people ask that when you do interviews and stuff, like, do you get to train with JB? Like, do you see JB? And like, he's just one of the teammates, man. It's crazy. Like, he knows everybody. He knows everybody on the staff, every wrestler that we have, the new ones, he meets them. We get to wrestle alongside him. I'm not in the big man group, so I don't get to wrestle like beside him or against him. But obviously you can always watch and learn from him. Like the summer before.
Yeah.
What?
It's got to be neat though, seeing him, huh?
Yeah, it's really cool seeing that type of level and just the way he works. Like, man, that's what I mean. That if you need a guy that is a role model, like if you want a guy to base all of your wrestling off of and to train like to be one of the best, that's the guy I would look at. Just because he is so good at what he does. He pays attention to detail when he wrestles, and yeah, it's nuts. Like you can't even really explain it. The dude is so good. Absolute freak.
He's making another run, right? I mean, people say that arguably he's the best of our era, right?
Oh, yeah. I bet once he's done, I feel like he'd probably most likely be the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time.
Man, that's awesome. A question. So you're in a state, Iowa, and I mean, what do they say? Like Iowa, Penn State, Ohio State. I mean, those are like the three. New Jersey, California, maybe those are like the hotbeds of wrestling, right? So you go 190-1, 4-timer in a state like Iowa, and then you walk into a Big Ten wrestling room. What was that transition like?
Transition was I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was awakening. It was definitely it was a wake-up call. It's like you have to train 100% every day. Like you can't take off days. You know what I mean? Like they build in off days for us. So you have to train crazy on the days that you're supposed to. Like you have to do your part. Otherwise you're going to fall behind. And it's crazy the levels that you can jump when you're in a Big Ten room like that and you're wrestling Big Ten competition. Like, I mean, last year wasn't my greatest year, I would ever say. Definitely still trying to learn the ropes of getting my weight under control. I think I might have cut a little too much. It was a big cut for me. And so, you know, that's why I think like this year I'm going up to 33 just because I can't put my body through that again. It was 6 months.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you because I know the website says 125, and I was just going to ask you, are you going to stay there or are you going to bump up?
No, I'm gonna go up. I talked it over with my coaches back home, and I've mentioned it to Manning and Snyder, and I think they already know. They know I'm not going to go 25 again. It was a big cut. That's all it was. It was a big cut for me. You know, and I wouldn't use that as an excuse of why I lost my matches, but when you don't have a lot of energy going out, I mean, it's tough to really put together a good run. And, you know, so my season wasn't the greatest, but obviously I ended pretty strong overall at the Big Tens. I went out there and just balled out, honestly. I'm like, do it. I'm like, dude, you have nothing to lose. Like, just go and like have fun. And like, that's when I actually started to wrestle like I knew how to. And, you know, I'd rather bump up a weight and not worry about having to cut weight as much. You know, obviously I'll still have to cut a little bit of weight, but it's not going to be like what it used to. I'd rather focus on my wrestling more and just go 100% every match, give it my all, and then whatever happens there. You know, I'd rather do that than have to stay back and stay smart with my wrestling, because I know if I go too hard, I'll gas out. You know, I'd rather not have to put on cruise control.
Yeah, I was just talking with Coach Ussolini up in upstate New York, and the end of our conversation, he was talking a little bit about the weight cutting stuff, and he said, yeah, I mean, it sucks when you're you know, you're towards the end of the match and you gotta go, but all you can think about is, man, I'm fucking hungry. I don't want to go. Yeah, and he's like, God, you're trying to go, but all you know is, man, I'm hungry, man. I want to eat something. So I'm actually parking so I can take off my seatbelt now. But yeah, so man, what would you tell kids? I mean, obviously, a lot of kids. Well, not a lot of kids, because not a lot of kids are 4-timers, but a lot of kids are win state championships, stuff like that around the country. And then they think that they're going to be able to walk into a Big Ten or Pac-12 or ACC or even a D2, D3 NAIA room, and they're just going to walk in and still be the shit. That doesn't happen.
Just from what I've seen, just like I've been here this is going to be my 3rd year, which is crazy to think about, that I've been here this long. But if you don't come in humble, I promise you'll leave humble. Because if you walk in and you think that your high school accolades are good, I bet you there's 5, 6, 7 other guys in there that have done just as much, if not more. You know what I mean? So when you get in there, everybody's good. So if you think, I mean, it's good to have self-confidence. Yeah. Like I still have, like I have self-confidence. Like, you know, I think I know I'm really good, and I've won a lot of things, and I've had spurts of last year where I'm like, I could be the guy if I just fix a few things. And so like, you know, when you wrestle, especially at this level, everything is so small. Like it's a chess match, you know, like in high school, you can just go out there, you know, and mess around, you know, hit some crazy moves. But in college, everything is like straight on. Like you have to be, you know, when you set up a shot, it's got to be basically flawless to get to the leg. You have like a sliver of a chance. And so when guys come in thinking they're just going to walk all over everybody that's there, it's a wake up call. But you see that
the technique is so. Your mind is so much more important than your technique in college, right?
You gotta see everything. You gotta be able to visualize where that guy's going. You gotta be able to feel. There's a lot of things coming at you, put it that way. And
because everybody in the Big Ten can.
What?
Everybody in the Big Ten can wrestle, right? So.
Yeah. Everybody can wrestle. Yes. Yeah.
So it's a matter of being smart and the other guys. So who's your and speaking of some good moments, what's the guy's name? Corey Larkin or something? You wrestled him twice, and he was like number 3 in the nation, and you split 1-1 with him. Was that his name? Corey Larkin? Larkin?
In high school or college?
College, this past year.
I think you're thinking of Liam Cronin.
Yeah, Liam Cronin. I just had the L backwards. But, yeah, you wrestled him for 5th in Big Ten. That's where he got you. But you wrestled him also in a tournament earlier where you won. And he was number 2 or 3 in the country at the time when you wrestled him, wasn't he?
I think he was higher towards like 9 or 10, I believe. I wrestled him the first. Oh, probably seeds. Yeah, he was probably one of the higher seeds. Yeah. Yeah. I wrestled him at the same tournament. I wrestled him at the tournament at Big Ten, and I wrestled him right off the bat. And he's my teammate now. Actually, he transferred here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that dude's my teammate now. Really cool guy. Really cool guy. I wrestled him one time in high school.
I'm sure.
What?
Nice to have a training partner like that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I get to wrestle with him all the time, which is so nice. We're going to wrestle tomorrow after our lift. So, yeah, really cool guy. But I wrestled him first round at Big Ten, and I came out of the hole crazy. Like, I think I put 12 points up on him in the first period. Just went absolutely nuts. I don't know what was in me, but I was just like, man, I just got to let it fly. I ended up beating him by like 6 or 7, I think. Then we wrestled for 5th and 6th again, and I just got caught in a really bad spot. My legs got split, and I couldn't go anywhere. I basically just got put in a really bad spot. You had a solid low ankle, and then kind of wrapped my legs up. I went to like fight in, then I'm like, damn, I'm fighting this way too much. Like I need to take my lose the takedown and get out, like, cause I'm way too deep. And he kept my legs split and I couldn't turn. And then, so kind of a bad ending to Big Tens. But that was one of my, not my best tournaments. Probably one of my best tournaments of the year. It was a fun one. I really liked wrestling the Big Tens. The atmosphere was really cool. The Rutgers facility, I think it was like basically a new facility. Like they just redid it or something like that, or just built it or something. But it was really cool. Really cool wrestling up in there.
So who's been your favorite? Oh, I got to pull forward. I'm in the school line. You don't have to do that. Who's been your favorite opponent to face over the years?
Dang, I never really thought about a favorite opponent. I did like wrestling Spencer Lee. I really did. I wanted to see where I was at, and I wrestled him at Iowa. I think that was a fun. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. But he kind of went on a rampage this year. But
you're just one of many, right?
Yeah. I just liked wrestling him because that really showed me like where I am at the top, like towards the top. Like where do I sit on the fucking totem pole at this point?
Yeah.
You know.
Because he's not bad.
yeah, he's not bad at all. And you know, I'm definitely a guy that'll give credit when credit's due. I think, really good wrestler, but I liked wrestling him just because I was able to really just see where I was at, and if I wrestled at 25 this year and never wrestled him, I feel like I'd be mad because I just wanted to see, where I was at basically on this totem pole like I was talking about. So that was a fun match to wrestle. I hand fought him for probably a minute and a half. I got to his leg once, fought it off. So I was with him, at the start, was just really going hard. I'm like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. Like, I'm not going to hold back. I'm not scared of this guy. I was never scared of him. I feel like if you're scared of somebody, you'll get, I just don't believe in being scared of an opponent. And so I'm just like, just kind of let my mind go out and just let my wrestling, let myself do what I do. You know what I mean? I can't, if I think during a match, I freeze up.
Well, I'm sure when it's all said and done, it'll be a picture you have on your wall one day, right?
I don't know about that. I hope that's not my biggest accomplishment in life is wrestling.
No. But I mean, it'll be cool to look back and say, this is who I wrestled throughout the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah. That'll be cool. Yeah, for sure.
So what's been your favorite tournament
to
be a part of?
If we had NCAAs, it would have been NCAAs, but we got canceled 5 days before, which is really tragic. But because I personally think we could have wrestled it, in my opinion. I think we were right before that COVID thing wasn't even bad yet. Like we were just fine. They jumped the gun on us so much, like so early. We had 5 days, man. Like, come on. But my favorite one, I wouldn't even say it'd be a tournament. I don't think my favorite one would be a tournament. I think it'd actually be a couple of the duels we had. We had the Penn State duel. That was on a raised. That was at home on a raised stage in front of like 5,000 or 6,000 people, I think.
Oh wow!
I was first match. I think I won in overtime, and like that was fun. Like that was so fun. That's like one of the best duels I've ever been a part of. And then we wrestled Ohio State either that weekend or the following weekend at home again, and we beat them. Isaiah White got the pin in the last match to seal it, and like that was nuts. Like those two duels were some of like the most fun that I've had this year for sure. I mean, just being around like the team and stuff, and the fans like right on your back, like it was crazy. But I didn't want to lose in front of that fan base. So
I could imagine.
No.
Have you been to a Nebraska football game yet?
Yeah. It's like our freshman year. I mean, obviously, like your redshirt year, you kind of learn what college is all about. Obviously, you're training and stuff, but you're not that you don't take it serious, but you get to really see the college life, that kind of intertwines with being an athlete. And so we got to go to a lot of the football games, and we all get in for free. All athletes get in for free to football games. So you walk up, get your ticket, and then you go to the stands or whatever. And they're fun, but they were so packed that it was just super like annoying to be in the stands. Like seeing like the football team run out and shit, like the hairs on your arms raised. Like it's a big thing in Nebraska. That's like, this is what people here live for, I've got to be on the sidelines a few times. I remember my freshman year. I was down with some of the no, it was last year. It was my sophomore. It was last year. I was down with some of our recruits, and we actually bring the recruits down onto the field, and we stand with like all the other recruits for different sports like volleyball, basketball, other football players that are getting recruited, soccer, gym, you name it. Like every sport that we have, they bring their recruits to the football game, because it's just a traditional thing they do. And why not show them like a packed out over 100, like close to 100,000 fans in one stadium at one time. And so we were down there, and I just remember like, I think it was Oregon. They were playing Oregon or something. I don't know who they were even playing, but like some of like their linemen came out, and they came out on the left side of us, and then Nebraska comes out on the right side through the main entrance. And like these guys are walking past us, like no joke, like 10 feet away from us, and they're like 6'7", 6'8", almost 400 pounds. And like you just look up, you're like, oh my gosh, like the freak specimens that are on this field right now. Like there's no way I would want to run the ball. No way I would want to run that ball.
You're like, that's
yeah,
why I'm 125 pounds and I wrestle.
Yeah, it's on 5.
What's the yeah? Is there a so a match you would want back?
Probably be the 5th place match at Big Tens. Would be the one I want back, because that was my last match of the year. Like, I ended my year on a loss, and like I hate losing, and that just like kind of leaves a little sour taste in your mouth. But now he's my teammate, so I really can't get the match back unless I go whoop his ass in the room. So
yeah.
you know, so I really can't get the match back.
You guys are 1-1, right? So you can do like one of those Rocky things where you go ding ding behind closed doors.
Rubber match.
Yeah, rubber match.
Yeah.
No one's looking.
Yeah, we've wrestled, like, just since he's been here, we've wrestled a good amount of times. You know, I think I'm usually winning it most of the time. But obviously I don't want to talk shit on him. He's my teammate now. So no, we go back and forth though.
Yeah.
He's
your guy now, right?
Yeah, we don't keep score. You know, yeah, we never kept
That's
score.
awesome,
We just
man.
like to, yeah, like when we wrestled live yesterday, and we were doing. I'm actually gonna wrestle Greco at the senior nationals in October. So I was like working some upper body stuff, and he's doing freestyle at 57 kg. So he's wrestling freestyle. So we were doing freestyle, but I was only trying to go like upper body. And so when we were like edge of the mat, it was like someone like the wrestling was like edge of the mat, double. You have an underhook or something. You're down by 1, and you got to push him out or take him down to win. And so I would just come up top. You know, I'd jump underneath, body lock him, and then he would bring me up because he was also a Greco guy, and we just start throwing each other. So we never really, like, when we wrestle, we don't care about, you know, who wins. It's all about just like scoring points.
Yeah,
and
trying to get better.
Just really trying. Yes, exactly. And so I'm like, it's cool. Like we never really had like any feuds or anything, so we didn't have to set anything aside, but we just kept training like we knew each other for basically our whole lives. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool, just like the bonds that you make with your athletes, you know, with other athletes, you know, and teammates that you wrestle with. Like you just get these bonds that you create, and they basically just turn into family. And I think that's one of the really cool things about wrestling in college is you're able to really, I mean, you got 2 lives, right? You have your student side, hanging out with like your friends outside of the sport, and then you have like your wrestling friends, really. And so you get to kind of to hop back and forth between, like, you know, you got your school, whatever, you go to school, whatever, you do that. You have some friends in classes and stuff, but then like you go back and now you're training with your, like, basically you're training with your family. Like that's just what it is. Basically, it's just a big family, you know, and you train alongside them, and you get to really just kind of go through, I'm going to go through life these next 5 years with some of the guys that I'll basically be friends with for the rest of my life.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
All right. Sure. This has been super cool. First time ever doing one on my cell phone. I'm usually live through the pandemic in my house, but this has been a blast. All right. Are you ready for my 10 questions?
10 questions. Yeah, I got you.
All right. Bang or Rockstar?
Bang or Rockstar? Not a big fan of energy drinks, but I do like the Bang ones. And plus, they're healthier. So I would definitely go with a Bang energy drink.
High C or ankle pick?
Oh, post high C all day. Post high C, that's my favorite move right there. Sucker somebody up for a post high C? Absolutely.
And bam. All right, Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Apple Jacks?
I haven't had Apple Jacks in years, so I'd go Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
The half or the cradle?
I don't have long enough arms to do either, but I would go with the cradle over in half for sure.
All right, you're a college student. Ramen noodles or mac and cheese?
I'd go mac and cheese. I get the little personal ones you put water in.
Yeah.
Not a big.
I don't like them.
Don't need a lot of brown.
Yeah. The single or the double?
Double egg. I think it's a higher finishing percentage move.
All right. You go Ritz or saltines?
Probably Ritz. Yeah, I can go Ritz crackers. Yeah.
Head and arm or suplex?
Head and arm or suplex? I love tossing kids, so I'd probably go suplex for sure.
All right. Power bar or granola bar?
I like granola bars. I get the fudge dipped ones. I eat those for
Ooh.
snacks all the time. Yeah, the fudge dipped granola bars. Yeah, they're
man,
bomb.
my fat ass is gonna get some of those. All right.
Probably have a I have a wrapper in my room here. Yeah, they're the fudge dipped granola bars.
Bam! Look at that. Hey, I'm glad I put that question.
They're so good. Yeah, they're so good.
All right, you doing the leg ride tilt or are you doing the roll through tilts?
I really like what we call them here. I think we call them like the California rolls. Basically, you got the arm and the wrist and you roll underneath. I'd go with the head underneath rolls. But then again, I still use basic 2-on-1 tilts too. So I'm kind of mixed between those.
That's awesome, man. So this has been awesome, man. Alex, thanks so much for coming on and getting a chance to talk to you. It's been amazing. If any of your friends or teammates or anybody out there want to come on, please share my link with them. I love, being a voice for the sport, and it's been fun. And keep kicking life's ass. And man, even though you were 190-1 in Iowa, how much better of a wrestler are you today?
So much. It's great. I mean, the levels that you jump in college, especially D1 and being in the Big Ten, and the coaches I'm surrounded by, this is the greatest. I mean, I haven't peaked yet, but like I'm getting there. You know, I'm just stepping I'm just gonna keep going, and then we'll see where I go. Awesome,
man. Well, hey, good luck with your season. Man, let's do this again sometime, anytime you'd like. I'd love to do it, and good luck. And for sure, I'm going to definitely be checking you out, following you. You've got a new fan here, so good luck, man. And, light up 133 this year, big guy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Everything you've done, what you're doing for the sport right now, we need more of this. So whenever I get a chance to hop on a show like this or talk wrestling, I love talking wrestling. So, always appreciative, and just want to thank you for coming on. That's really cool.
All right, man. You have a great day.
Awesome. You too.
I'll figure out how to end this on my phone. Oh, I guess I hit the button that says end. All right.